I'm one of the writers, Dr. Shanessa Fenner, and I have the wonderful honor this morning to interview the awesome, incomparable national jazz recording saxophonist, Reggie Codrington. Good morning, Reggie. How are you?
Good morning, Shanessa. How are you this morning?
I am doing awesome, Reggie. So, Reggie, I
Awesome.
want to go ahead and dive in and talk about you and your many talents and all. I want you to first tell our audience a little bit, Reggie, a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Well, like you said, my name is, of course, Reggie Codrington, and I was born here in Fayetteville, North Carolina. And I went to a high school here in Fayetteville called E.E. Smith High School. And I went to Howard University and studied music. And I have been recording records since 1990. And I was born with cerebral palsy and a mild case, and or just cerebral palsy. I still have it, but I am just pushing on and persevering and enjoying life and trying to be an inspiration and show people that we can accomplish all things through Christ and hard work.
Okay. Now, Reggie, of course, I love your music. You have nice, soothing music, and you've, of course, produced and you have many albums. Kind of talk with me a little bit about your music.
Well, my music that I have recorded is mostly around the smooth jazz era or contemporary jazz. But of course, I grew up listening to, um, Earth, Wind, and Fire and the Commodores and all the good music of the 70s and 80s. But my father was a jazz musician, so we had a lot of jazz records around the house, and that's probably about 90% of what I listened to. And of course, my father being an awesome trumpet player and just a band director and just a musical lover, jazz was the predominant music in our household. But I also listened to a little classical and a little, um, yeah, the R&B, classical and blues, but mostly jazz. And so from that, um, I just came into my own and started took all those mixtures and began to make what I call smooth jazz, or what they call smooth jazz. But I like to think I have my own sound, and most of the time it comes across as mellow, smooth, and relaxing. And that's the Reggie Codrington sound.
All right. Now, are there any particular events in your life, Reggie, or any kind of situation that inspires your music and inspires you to have a certain thought or a certain record or a certain song title that you have in mind?
Sure. Well, a big part of my music comes from life experiences, and since I could not play sports professionally, of course, I tried to play sports and do all those things when I was young. Um, I decided to take my some of my challenges and turn them into being able to write certain songs that inspire me. Like there, I have one song on one of my records that I was listening to the other day called "Got My Eyes on You." It's off of my Expressions CD, and that was written from feeling down and discouraged one day. But I heard the Lord say, "Keep your eyes on me," and so I just said, "Well, let me write this song." And the title of the song from that thinking was "Got my eyes on you." So that's off of the Expression CD, like I said earlier. But yes, a lot of the songs that I do write come from experiences. Like I have another song called "I've Got That Feeling," and that came from just thinking positive no matter how difficult things are. I've got that feeling that things are going to be all right. So, yes, everything that I've written comes from some experience or things that we've gone through, but we have to learn how to take our negative experiences and things that happen in life, we turn them into positives. And so that's been my whole thought process and part of my journey. And we've spoken about that many times. But yes, every experience that I have, or every situation that we go through in life, I like to turn that into a song.
And of course, Reggie, my favorite song, that of course, and you know what it's called. It's called Shanessa's Theme. Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes, Reggie wrote a song for me. It's called Shanessa's Theme, and he wrote it for my TV show that I do, that I'm host of. So of course that's my favorite. So you know that anyway, Reggie.
Yes, and that's off of the Vision of Dreams CD, which is on the song I just spoke about. I've got that feeling. Yes, Shanessa's theme is, I think that's like the third song on the CD.
Yes, it is. Yes, it
It's
is.
one of my favorites as well.
Oh, and you know it's my favorite. You know that. So I want to thank you again, of course, for writing that for me. Um,
Yes.
so Reggie, kind of talk with me about your upcoming plans and all. What are you working on for the new year and all? Kind of talk with me about that.
Okay. Well, I'm working on a few things. I just recently have almost completed my 13th CD. And this may be my 12th CD. I did a single um, that came out, I think it was in 2019, but that was just one song. And I have recently recorded 14 new songs with a friend of mine in California by the name of Craig T. Cooper. And, we just, Craig flew in from Los Angeles like 2 weeks ago, and because I was not able to travel to California because I'm taking care of my parents, and he flew in and we recorded the last song, the 14th song, and we also shot a music video. And I'm looking at shooting another one, and we're praying that that will come out sometime at the top of the new year, somewhere between January and March.
Mhm.
So, these days it's hard for me to pinpoint certain days and times that things are going to happen because I am now kind of in the role as a caregiver for my parents. So, um, that makes life a little challenging, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. So that's one thing we're doing. And then I also have two books that have been written about me as well, and about, my challenges in life and overcoming them and not letting anything stop you from what you want to achieve. Sometimes we may have to take a different route,
Mhm.
but that does not mean that we cannot be successful or that we won't be successful.
Okay. Now, speaking of the challenges that you've been through, Reggie, the cerebral palsy, kind of talk with us a little bit about how you didn't let cerebral palsy affect you from playing the saxophone.
Yes, I did not let my disability, cerebral palsy, stop me from playing saxophone and um, just wanting to pursue music. And I have to say, my mother, Joyce Codrington, was a big part of that because she was always that positive, encouraging person that was there every day in my life when I would come home from school and I may be down or discouraged, but she would just encourage me and say, "Hey, Reggie, you can do whatever you want to do if you put your mind to it. And you may have to alter some things, you may have to work a little harder than most people, but that does not mean that you cannot be a great saxophone player." And so um, that, along with prayer, and just working every day very hard to be the best that I could be. Here I am, 35 years of playing saxophone professionally, and being able to keep my head above water. It's been a blessing, but my mother has been a huge part and inspiration, and telling me that, hey, we can do all things, and I just believe that, and hey, I'm not finished yet.
That's right. Now, Reggie, let's say that you've got an artist listening and watching, your interview right now at this time. What kind of advice would you give an aspiring artist when it comes to music and recording and anything that has to do with the music industry?
My advice would be, first of all, to be the best that you can possibly be by working hard, practicing on your skill, and just trying to be at the top of your game, even if people don't recognize you right away. Um, just always prepare for the moment of when you get that call, you are ready. You don't have to worry about getting ready. Stay ready. So hard work, um, listening or studying other people that are doing what you want to do, and not necessarily to copy them, but to just get ideas from them and then try to figure out how to make it your own. And I always tell people in music, like for me being a saxophone player, I could always listen to people like John Coltrane or Miles Davis, who was a trumpet player, and I would not have to see who it was on the radio. I knew them by the timbre of their instrument, by the sound that they produced. It's just like each one of us, when someone calls you, I don't necessarily have to see you. I just know from the sound of your voice who that is on the phone. So, studying sound for me in music, but whatever you are pursuing, um, whatever genre of music or just business, period, just try to be the best. Spend as much time as you can knowing everything that it entails, and just never give up. I have something I call the 5 P's: prayer, preparation, persistence, and patience leads to payoff. And I've said that for years. But if you work in that manner, um, hey, you will be the best that God will allow you to be. And the most important thing is, even when you're having a bad day or something doesn't go right, that does not mean that it's not for you. It just means, hey, I've got to work a little harder. But if you stick with it, eventually you're going to become great at your craft. And there are many great um, artists out here. There are many great educators. The thing is just trying to figure out what makes you different and unique from others. And the way I look at it, God gives all of us special gifts and unique talents. And where we may not be able to reach one child or one person, you maybe somebody else that does the same thing can reach that person. I'm sure you being in at the education system, you've probably seen, you may have one student that is terrible in somebody else's class, but you move him to another teacher and they connect with him. And so a lot of times it's about just finding the audience or finding the person that you connect with, and you can inspire them. And at the end of the day, um, I would tell anybody, our goal is to encourage one another, um, and just move forward. Because at the end of the day, um, if you have done your best and you have worked hard, you are going to encourage and inspire someone. And so I would tell up and coming artists to work on um, being yourself, but also wanting to make a difference that is a lasting positive influence and can inspire someone to greatness.
Thank you, Reggie. Now, one last question, Reggie. Please share your information, your website so that the listeners, of course, can visit it and purchase your music.
Okay. My website is just www.reggiecodrington, and that's spelled Reggiecodrington.com. And you can also just Google Reggie Codrington, and uh, my music is on all the digital platforms. And of course, like I said, stay tuned for new music coming out somewhere between January and March of next year. And also, I am on Facebook. You can direct message me through Facebook. I have a fan page and a personal page. And like I said, you can reach me through um, the reggiecodrington.com as well.
Okay. Well, thank you, Reggie, and thank you, Sheen audience and listeners, for tuning in to our Sheen exclusive. I'm Dr. Shanessa Fenner, and thank you so much, and have a great day.